Hi, everyone, and happy Sunday, and welcome back to Chatting with Charities, where we highlight a different island charity every Sunday and let you know what they do for the island and how you can possibly help them. So today I'm joined by Carolyn Bateman, and she is with us from Stars for Life, and she's going to give us a little bit of information about what they do and how we can help. So welcome, Carolyn.
Thanks very much. It's a great opportunity to tell everybody about what the Stars for Life Foundation for Autism does.
It is. It is. So on that note, do you want to get started and let us know exactly what your organization does for PEI?
Okay, so a little history. We started about, close to 20 years ago now. Another mom and I started as our adult children, or our young children at that time, were leaving the school system. And what seemed to be happening is that all their supports dropped out when they left the school system. So it was pretty much left up to families to figure out, what are you going to do with your adult child? Are they going to be able to continue their education? Where will they live? What will they do all day? Those sorts of questions needed answering. And now today we have 1 in 59 island children who are on the autism spectrum. And so now we have hundreds, like there's over 400 children in the school system, and many more hundreds that have come out of the school system. And parents were aging. We have many families who have lost both parents or one parent. So the needs are huge as far as housing and how we're going to help these families cope for the rest of their lives. Children are only children for 18 years, and these people are going to be with us for the next 60 years. So what happens to them? And that was the premise on where we started the Stars for Life Foundation for Autism. So it took us 10 years to build the first home and resource center, which we've quickly outgrown. We need more space, more housing, of course, to continue our growth. So we fundraise constantly to try and raise the funds to build the next house, purchase the next house. One of our big projects in the future, I hope not too distant future, is to build what we're calling a resource center. Basically, it would be like a large autism training center. So we want to create a center that is a center of excellence for autism on the island to help individuals and their families. So autism itself has a huge range. So you have very high functioning kids who have left the school system, who are capable of going to university or capable of going to college if they had one-on-one supports that they need to do so. Then they continue to need help as they, learn their trade and supports in the job site, supports in their daily living. Many of our high functioning kids were the kids that kind of went under the radar. They passed their school studies, but they were the kids that were bullied. And many of them now have a lot of mental health issues coming out of school. And right down to the ones that, are really high needs, that the autism has affected them so greatly that their communication is affected. They can't speak, or they have a lot of behavior that is very different from other children. Self-help skills, they basically need help, 24/7, which is a huge burden to families. As much as they love them, it's very difficult for them. So we help families in a lot of different ways by providing day programs for their young people. We provide the educational assistance so that they can go continue their education or try and find a job and help them in the job location that they may be in, help them in their apartment if they're living more independently. I guess maybe one of the best ways is to give you some examples of some of the families. We had one young man who we got into the resident care program at Holland College. And he was a high functioning young guy, and he graduated and now has a full-time job. But through his journey, he had a lot of mental health issues. And he was such a trusting soul that people were, his peers in his community really took advantage of him. So we helped him in many ways, and we still do check in on him, and probably always will, but he's doing quite well. We have another young guy that just I think he just graduated the computer science program at UPEI. A number of years ago now, we had a young man who was so brilliant at history. He could correct his professor if his professor said anything wrong, but he had a lot of social issues and needed a lot of help and guidance. And unfortunately, this young man passed away. One of the things about autism, although that was a little unusual, a lot of have seizure disorders, higher than what we would see in the normal population. And that young man happened to have a seizure and passed away one weekend at home, which was very sad. But we have others. One who just finished his graphic art program at Holland College. So we're working with him to try and help him find a job. Now, COVID has obviously interrupted that. And we have others that are basically come to our center and are with us all day as we help them learn social skills and improve their communication. We had one young man who was with us for a while who he was pretty good with a computer and playing games. So we took him and taught him how to use that skill and how to communicate. So we taught him to text to his mom. And so his mom had said that was the first time she really ever got a chance to speak to his mom or to her son. Yeah, so there's lots of heartwarming, wonderful things happening. We've had other tragedies in our families where one parent has died. One young man we have with us all day, and we also provide respite care for him. So that's, where his family can get a break. But his mom died when he was about 12. And during the first lockdown, his dad passed away.
Oh.
So now he's and he's living with an aunt. So he comes to us on the weekends and so they can get a break, and he's with us all day. And we're working with him to try and help him become as independent as possible. So there's many things going on. We have a program for some of our young ladies, and I think we're branching off into our young men now about sexuality and understanding those issues as it's going to affect them as they grow. And as I said, like the social skills and that understanding is very tough for them. It's even no matter what level they're functioning at, it is a tough one for them to understand. So we're working with all those folks on those types of things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You do a lot of things.
We do. Jack of all trades.
So my next question was going to be what you do with the funds that people donate, but I think you probably just answered the question with telling us everything that you do. Like, I'm sure that it goes into all of those things.
All of those things.
And I know that COVID kind of threw a wrench, as other charities on PEI kind of threw a wrench into your fundraising capabilities, but you're still going forward with one fundraiser. I think it's coming up in May, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's going to take a dramatic turn this year. It was our Evening of the Stars dinner, our gala dinner, and that was canceled totally last May as we were just entering into the lockdown phase and coming out of it. So it was impossible to do. We still can't hold it this year. So what we're doing is instead, we have something called our Evening of the Stars Reverse Draw, which will be held on the same night. I believe it's going to be May the 16th, and it'll all be online on Zoom. So we're developing a website where it will be a reverse draw, and the grand prize will be a $10,000 cash prize. There will be a first out of the bin consolation prize. Every 25th ticket drawn will be a prize winner, and then there will be all the losers, shouldn't say the losers, but the people that didn't win go back into the bin for one last consolation prize. So there'll be lots of prizes, and we're going to do the whole event live that night on Zoom. So we're hoping that will help substitute for some of the dinner. We have the Mayor's Cup in the fall, which took a different sort of spin last fall as well, but we still did okay, not what we normally do, but it was still a successful event. Yeah, so we're constantly fundraising, and that's the only way we can keep our doors open.
And so that's one way that people can donate, by participating in your events. If people wanted to donate in other manners, is there a place on the website where they can just donate easily? Is there like a button to donate, or
Yep.
should they send e-transfer? How does that work?
Oh, any and all.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is a button. There's a button on our website at starsforlife.com. It's Canada Helps, and you can donate through there, and you can designate your donation in any way you so choose. So
Perfect.
that's the easiest way. Yeah.
Okay. And what about those people who maybe are not able to donate with money or monetarily? Is there any other way that they can support you and your organization?
Yes, there's always ways. One of the ways, in the summertime, we often need help with the landscaping or the gardening and those types of things, especially in the spring and the fall. So those maintenance types of things are always needed. I'm hoping that we might be able to get some grants this year that we can start a small fruit orchard. So it would provide some activities for the guys to do during the spring and over the summer, caring for the trees and the garden and whatnot, and maybe some fruit to sell in the fall. Just trying to find different ways. So that's going to cost. That's a little aside. It's going to cost some extra money. So anybody got a fruit tree they want to get rid of? There's a number of ways. As far as volunteering one-on-one with our staff, there's a fair bit of training involved. Okay. So it can happen. I know we do take students from the Holland College program on OJT. So people who want to become involved in those ways, it is possible. They just would need to be somebody who's kind of committed for the longer term, as opposed to popping in once in a while. These guys really have the difficulty with change and getting used to different people, but anything is possible. We're always in need of something, so just contact the office and just let us know what your thoughts are and what ways you think you might be able to help, and we'll try and match it up.
Okay, awesome. And so when we post this, we will be posting your website and your information and let people know how they can contact you. So hopefully you will get some take on that with either your event or how people can help in other fashions. But yeah, thank you. I have attended your gala in the past, and I did have a little bit of idea of what you did, what your organization was about. But I always learn something from these interviews because it's just a deeper dive into what's happening with your organization and what you do. So I just want to thank you for starting this organization, and it's clear that you have a passion for this and you're really making a difference in the lives of the families and the people that have autism here on PEI. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so we'll leave it there, and thank you everyone for tuning in today, and be sure to tune in again next Sunday where we will be highlighting another island charity. So take care and have a good Sunday. Thanks,
Thank you.
Carolyn.
Bye-bye.